I'll tell you the definition one more time. So it's this is specially built for Zigbee communication is specially built for control and sensor networks on IEEE 802.15.4 standard for wireless personal area networks. Okay, for wireless personal area network, and this is a product from Zigbee Alliance. Okay, likewise, you can build some product for any companies which by making use of this Zigbee technology. Okay, so if you are going for product development, you can use this technology. This is a specially designed for control and sensor networks. Okay, fine. And the second statement is this communication standard defines. I'll align everything and make it as a PDF and upload to you. This communication standard defines physical and media access control layers to handle many devices at low data rates. Okay, so this is one of the feature of Zigbee, and these Zigbee wireless spans operate at 868 megahertz to the range like 902 to 928 megahertz, and its frequency is 2.4. This I got it from Google. Um, the data rate is about 250 kilobytes per second, and this is best suitable for periodic as well as intermediate two-way transmission of data between sensors and controllers. Okay, so first statement, I think it will be very clear. This is meant for control and sensor networks with its standard specification, and it is applied for. So the standard is meant for wireless personal area network. Okay, and this is one of the product from Zigbee Alliance. The next statement is this communication standard defines physical and media access control layers to handle the devices, different types of devices, whatever we are making use for our IoT purpose with low rate. Okay, the low rates, data rates will be low. Okay, so it means that this could be capable of implementing a smaller technology also. Okay, so that for product, simple product development, we can make use of this. And the third thing is, what is the frequency range and operate? Okay, at which speed it could be capable of operating, right? So these Zigbee WPANs operate at 868 megahertz and the range like from 902 to 928 and 2.4 gigahertz frequencies. And the data rate of 250 kilobits per second is best suited for two-way transmission between sensors and controller. Okay, you know what is two-way transmission? The sensor will act as a source. On that time, the controller would be a mediator, sorry, a destinator. Similarly, while the controller is act as a source, the sensor will be. So bi-directional communication. Both the devices could be capable of transmitting the data. Okay, that's the meaning for the third statement, right? With its feature. And this is said to be a modem. Suppose if you are implementing your project with the Zigbee technology, you can purchase something like this. Okay, it could be capable of purchasing something like this. So it is low cost, low powered mesh network. This is said to be low cost, low powered mesh network. This is widely deployed for controlling and monitoring applications, where it covers 10 to 100 meters within the range. So this is the range for this modem to communicate. Okay. And as I said already, this is for controlling and monitoring the applications. Okay, in which application you are going to make use of. Okay, so based on that. So once we discussed about all the protocols, I'll tell you which protocol is specifically designed for which purpose. Okay, for example, which protocol is best suited for humidity sensor, which protocol is best for, suitable for home automation, something, or what are the related works happening. Everything will be discussed. Moreover, we have a project reviews. On that time also, while you're explaining, I can give few things, right? Fine. And where I have stopped? Yeah, here. So this communication system is less expensive and simpler than proprietary short-range wireless sensor networks as Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. Okay, compare with Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, this is comparatively less expensive. Okay, fine. The next thing is ZigBee supports different network configurations for master to master and master to slave communication. So as I said, you please recall a peer-to-peer concept. In peer-to-peer concept, point-to-point concept, we have one machine which acts as a master. On that time, the remaining things would be slaves, act as slaves. And similarly, if you are going for more than one piconets to merge, so the things would be controlled. Any master can control any slave. Okay. So like that, the ZigBee also supports different network configurations. Either two masters can communicate or a master to slave communication is also possible. Okay. So we could be capable of merging the configurations. That is possible here. Network configurations. Okay, ma? Fine. And also, it can be operated in different modes. As a result, the battery power is conserved. Okay, so this could be capable of performing in different modes. Yeah, that will come later. What are the modes available? The next is the ZigBee networks are extendable with the use of routers and allow many nodes to interconnect with each other for building a wider area network. So simply they have one application they have given here is smart city. Okay, smart city. So you're going to make a buildings. What are the buildings available in the smart city are smarter? Okay, or smart buildings also we can call this term, right? Smart buildings. Those buildings can be connected via the network also to make it as a smart city. That's different, right? Fine. And yeah, they are extendable with the use of routers and allow many nodes to interconnect with each other for building a wider area network. Okay, so these are the features available. The next comes architecture. ZigBee architecture. I brought a diagram, but I'm not sure how much it's clear for you. ZigBee coordinator. Is it visible, ma? Red color is said to be ZigBee coordinator. Okay, and blue colors are ZigBee router. Okay, red color is coordinator, blue is router, and green are ZigBee end devices. Okay, ZigBee end devices. And we have a red color link, right, which provides a data link is there. So that red color is said to be a wired connection, and the remaining things which I have specified in dotted line are said to be the wireless connection. Okay, so this is a small architectural diagram. So we'll see one by one what are the things. So you should remember here wired wireless connection, both the thing, plus in the ZigBee network we have coordinator which is represented in red color, router blue color, and green is end devices, green or the end devices. Fine. So the ZigBee system structure consists of 3 different types of devices such as ZigBee coordinator, router, and end device. So that's what I told you. The next point is every ZigBee network must consist of at least one coordinator which acts as a root and bridge of the network. Okay, so why I'm calling this as a root? From there only we are going to communicate with other routers. Okay, so that is the first thing. So we are calling it as a root. And bridge in the sense it could be capable of building everything, like it is like a strong, it puts some strong foundation for the entire network. Okay, so you know what is the functionality of bridge, right? To connect also. Fine. The next is so we should say here after the components available in ZigBee as a coordinator, router, and end device, the next point is each and every ZigBee network, whatever, right? So wherever we are we have the ZigBee network, it should consist of at least one coordinator which acts as a root and bridge of the network. And the next is the coordinator is responsible for handling and storing the information while performing receiving and transmitting data operations. Okay, so he is that a coordinator is responsible for handling and storing the information while the data is transmitting and receiving at the endpoints, end devices. Okay, for example, the end devices may be A, B, C. something like that. So how the data would be transmitted, which devices are receiving, for example, B is receiving the data, those type of information would be stored as well as handled with the help of this ZigBee coordinator. Okay, you know what is the functionality of router also? We discussed in one Wi-Fi connection yesterday. So same functionality is applied here. Fine. Next thing is the ZigBee router. It acts as an intermediate device which permit the data to pass to and from through to the devices. Okay. So this is this already, you know. Anyway, I have given one more statement. Okay, to understand, for better understanding. And we discussed something about coordinator and router. The next is each device or end devices. Each and every devices which are connected with the router are said to be the end devices, right? So the end devices have a limited functionality to communicate with parent nodes such that the battery power is saved. Okay, so everything should be communicate. Why? What we are calling as parent, you know, hierarchical relationship, right? So what do you mean by hierarchical relationship? Parent-child relationship, something like this. We are calling a root, and I'll show you a hierarchical diagram. Yeah, we'll take a model, any model, hierarchical model. You can see something like this. We have a database, so many images are available. So something like this. So we have a parent-child relationship. So this is one of the database model. Here you can call it as root. Parent is said to be the root. We have three childs, level 1, level 2, sorry, level 1 is represented in blue color, and each and every level 1 childs are having again two children. So that is said to be another. Okay, so this is said to be a hierarchical model. So end devices have limited functionality to communicate with the parent node such that the battery power is saved. Okay, and the number of routers, coordinators, and end devices depends on the type of the network. Type of the network in the sense we can use a star, tree, mesh, whatever. What type of topology we are using. Okay, I think you know about all the topologies also. Star topology already we discussed in peer-to-peer. What is one more? Two more is given. I have given mesh and tree. Yeah, tree is this one, hierarchical relationship. And if you're talking something about mesh, wherever the things, okay, mesh model. So this is coming like this. Okay, mesh model. Yeah, so this is said to be the mesh, right? So we have certain things, the devices. So we have gateway, repeaters, endpoint, something like that they have given, right? So wherever it is there, we can provide connection from wherever. Okay, so it is possible if we have proper communication technology. Okay, so this is a type of mesh network. Something while we are seeing just like that, it would be like a confused one, but it is a type of topology available. Okay, as you know. Fine. Yeah, I'll come again here. Yeah, ZigBee protocol architecture. Yeah, this is one of the architecture we discussed. Simple architecture. What is the? It mainly concentrates on what is the functionality of coordinators, routers, and end devices. And the next thing is as of the layers, right? The ZigBee protocol architecture consists of a stack of various layers where IEEE 802.15.4 is defined by physical and MAC layers, I told you, while the protocol is completed by accumulating ZigBee's own network and application layers. You know, right, if you want to provide communication between source and destination, in TCP IP, Transmission Control Protocol, we have certain things to be layered. The layers are available, right? So each and everything was represented here also. We need a physical and MAC. You go for the initial definition, what I told you. This communication standard defines physical and media access control layers to handle the devices at low data rates. So this is the architectural diagram which represents the physical and MAC function, right? Yeah. So physical layer, it is a low level layer. The physical layer is said to be the low level layer. It does modulation and demodulation operations upon transmitting and receiving the signals respectively. And this layer's frequency, data rate, and number of channels I have given here, smaller representation, I brought it for you. If it is 2.4 gigahertz, if it is 868 megahertz and 915 megahertz, okay? So for all these three specifications, the frequency range, what type of band is it is using, coverage, data rates, and channel numbers. Okay, channel numbers in the sense how the things are making slots, right? How many partitions are there, something like that, right? So this is a small layout. And the next comes MAC layer. So the main functionality of physical layer, you should remember modulation and demodulation operation while you are performing transmitting and receiving signals. The next is MAC layer. This is responsible for reliable transmission of data by accessing different networks with a carrier sense multiple access collision avoidance. Okay, this is one of the protocol for synchronizing the thing. Okay, so for synchronizing communications, we are using the protocol CSMA. Okay, so what is the functionality of MAC layer? This is responsible for reliable transmission of data by accessing different networks with the help of this CSMA. Okay, and it also transmits the beacon frames for synchronizing the communication. So this is the functionality of MAC. ZigBee make use of both physical and MAC, right? And the network layer, this is another architecture which is available in your ZigBee. So it's a protocol architecture. So we have discussed the different layers available. This layer takes care of all the network related operation like end to endpoint device communication. And once the connection is not required, we are removing, right? Initially, we have a one connection at our home, right? For example, BSNL. Okay. So after some time, we are thinking that it is not reliable, and we could not capable of transmitting data rates, and we couldn't able to download in a faster manner, something like that. So we are moving for another thing. For example, Hathway, your Wi-Fi connection. So that is like end device connection and disconnection to the particular network is possible with the help of network layer. And the network setup is the main functionality, and followed by that routing and the device configurations. Okay, what type of devices? For example, once you have Hathway or Wi-Fi Hathway at your home, and I could be capable of connecting my laptop, and my daughter is also using her laptop for her online classes, and my husband is using his system for taking class or whatever, some work, okay, something like that. So the device could be capable of, and my younger daughter is making use of his mobile phone for or her tab for listening some songs or like a game, something like that. Okay, so it would be capable of providing connections for network. So that is the device should be configured and it should be compatible to work in the particular environment. So this is what required for routing. Networking is also the main functionality what we need. The next comes application sublayer. So this layer enables the services necessary for device ZigBee device object. Okay, for example, if you are purchasing that ZigBee modem, so your device should be applicable for that, right? You could be capable of doing some application with the help of that ZigBee modem. So this is required. And in order to provide interfacing and managing the data also, we are in need of this application sublayers, right? And this is responsible for one more functionality is matching. Yeah. What you have done with your Bluetooth, right? Pairing the device. Okay, so based on the needs and services. For example, I could be capable of connecting my mobile phone with some speakers also, Bluetooth speakers. Okay, as you know, it should be paired, right? For listening music, we could be manipulate all those matching. So that is also required. And the application programs, yeah, this is what I told you, key value pair. It provides two types of data services. One is key value pair and another one is generic message services. So generic message in the sense define the structures, whereas the key value pair is meant for getting the attributes within the application objects. So if you are working with ZigBee, you should go in depth about what is generic, what is key value pair, you know already. So you have to go in detail. Otherwise, just know what are the features available, where it could be applied. That is enough for a syllabus study, right? Finally, the device objects. It provides, yeah, I have mentioned here itself. Yeah, it provides an interface between application objects and APS layer in the devices. And what type of devices we are using, based on that, it could be capable of detecting, initiating, binding the devices to the network. Okay, so that is said to be ZigBee device object, which could be capable of providing interface between the applications and the ZigBee devices. And it is why we are making all those things. Initially, we discuss one characteristics meant for control, right? So based on that, it will detect, initiate, and bind, right? Yeah. Next, what are the topologies available in ZigBee? Yeah, as you know, there are a few topologies like star, cluster, tree, mesh. Okay. So already we discussed something about coordinator, router, devices. So same I have given. Yeah, we could be capable of identifying how many coordinators or something like that. So just I'll read the thing. You know already the functionality of everyone, right? Coordinator, router, and devices. So ZigBee supports, anybody can read it, I think it would be better. While one of your friend is reading, you too please read the statement slowly. You could be capable of understanding the concept, right? Yes, Nanar Nitish Raj, can you read the concepts, ma'am? From here. ZigBee supports several network topologies. From here. Nitish Raj?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, ma'am. Can you read, ma'am?
Yes.
Yeah, just from here. My Word
ZigBee
document is
supports
visible, right? Yeah.
ZigBee supports several network topologies. However, the most commonly used configurations are star, mesh, and cluster tree topologies. Any topology consists of one or more coordinator. In a star topology, the network consists of one coordinator, which is responsible for initiating and managing the devices over the network. All other devices are called end devices that directly communicate with the coordinator. This is used in industries where all end point devices are needed to communicate with the central controller, and this topology is simple and easy to deploy.
Okay, enough,
In
Nitish Raj. Thank you. So there are different types of topologies available. Any topology consists of one or more coordinators. So in star, he read something about a star. So the network consists of one coordinator, which is responsible for managing and initiating the devices over the network. You can see here, which is the coordinator, in what color we represent coordinator? What color? Red. So red is meant for coordinator, and all other devices are called end devices here. End devices that directly communicate with the coordinator. Okay, and this is applicable for industries where all the endpoint devices are needed to communicate with the central controller. And this is simple topology, easy to deploy. Okay, here we don't have router. Okay, ma'am, fine. I think anybody can do the second. Mesh topology, mesh and tree, both are same because we have coordinators, we have router, and we have certain set of endpoint devices, right? Fine. Rolling here and there. Yeah, from here only in mesh and tree. Yeah, I'll ask someone else. Yeah, Anushka Rakshit, can you read, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Mesh, ma'am, from here in mesh and tree topologies.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the screen was. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, should I read it?
Yeah. That paragraph alone in mesh and tree. It starts there. Yeah.
In mesh and tree topologies, the ZigBee network is extended with several routers where coordinators is responsible for starting them. These structures allow any device to communicate with any other adjacent node for providing redundancy to the data. If any node fails, the information is routed automatically to other devices by these topologies. As the redundancy is a major factor in industry, hence mesh topology is mostly used. In a cluster tree network, each cluster consists of a coordinator with leaf nodes, and these coordinators are connected to the parent coordinator, which initiates the entire network.
Okay, thank you, Ma. Thank you, Anushka. And
So,
yeah, in mesh and tree topology, this is extended with several routers where the coordinator is responsible for starting them. Okay, so even though we have routers, this is starting, Ma. I think T is missed here. Yeah, so you can see in mesh and tree, tree is not given, no problem. Tree is your hierarchical representation again. Again, we have mesh. In mesh, we have a red color as a coordinator, certain set of router. From the router, we have the endpoint devices, which is represented in yellow color. Blue color is the router. Okay. So, the ZigBee network is extended with several routers where the coordinator is responsible for starting. These structures allow any devices to communicate with any other adjacent node for providing redundancy to the data. So if any of the node fails, the information is routed automatically to other devices by this topology. Okay, ma? So this is more advantageous. Redundancy, what do you mean by redundancy? Anybody can know that term? You may heard the term in DBMS. That is a clue. Yes, Deep Hiren. What is redundancy? Any guess?
Ma'am, redundancy is having a multiple of the same thing so that in case
Yeah.
you lose one of it, you can have copies of it.
Yes, ma. Good, good. So multiple copies. Okay. So we have in order to avoid that duplicate occurrence, some normalization, something like that will be moved in database. Okay. So here, this network, this mesh and tree is having a network whose responsible, the coordinator is responsible is to start the functions of router. Okay. And then it should allow the devices to communicate with the adjacent nodes also. So which are all the adjacent nodes, it will be pick up automatically. The router will do all those things. If one of the node is failed, so we have another node which is available with the same router. So it will automatically provide connection to them. So that is the concept available here. As the redundancy is the main factor in industries, the mesh topology will be used for industries. Okay. So in previous example also, we are not saying industry is a general term, right? But specifically in which area it is used, specifications is required for all these things. Those example I'll tell you in further classes, because once we have completed all your protocol, we will discuss them. And mesh topology is also used, and finally comes cluster. So cluster, we have again one coordinator, and the blue are indicated as router, and we have certain end devices. Okay. So each cluster consists of a coordinator. We are calling it as a leaf nodes. And these coordinators are connected to parent coordinator, which initiates the entire network. Okay. So the router they are calling here as nodes, right? Leaf nodes. So this is the representation. Finally comes the applications of ZigBee. I have specified certain things wherein general thing, but I have not I have not given any added any paper to today where the what is the importance of ZigBee, something like that. So general overview we discussed here. What are the applications? One is industrial automation, ma. So in manufacturing and production industries, we have ZigBee here. Okay, manufacturing and production industries. So we have a communication link, continually monitor various parameters and critical equipments here. So, okay. So hence the ZigBee considerably reduces this communication cost as well as optimizes the control processes for greater reliability. So which, whatever may be the industry, they are doing manufacturing and production, they can make use of ZigBee for monitoring the various parameters and critical equipments also. What you are calling as critical? Something like if you're going for real-time concepts and all, it has to be some complex equipments. It should be controlled properly. Otherwise, it may burst, right? Something maybe happen like blast of that something. Okay, so it could be avoided with the help of this ZigBee because it's monitoring everything. And home automation is Zigbee is perfectly suited for controlling the home appliances and remotely as a lighting system control, appliance control, heating and cooling system control, safety equipment operations and control, surveillance. Okay. So in this diagram, you can view few things are there, right? Which could be controlled with the help of Zigbee. Okay. So whatever the appliances, what you are using at our home, suppose the baby is there, we could be capable of monitoring them. And elder people are there, we can survey with the help of a camera. So we could be capable of controlling all this. Is heating system, cooling system, everything you are using in our day-to-day life. Our air conditioning system, hazer, right? Everything is said to be few examples. And smart metering. So it should goes off when it reaches the particular temperature, right? Fine. Smart metering, Zigbee remote operations in smart metering include energy consumption response, pricing support, and security over power theft. Okay. And grid monitoring is another application where the grid will involve in remote temperature monitoring, fault locating, reacting power management. Okay. So what type of task you are going to choose plus how it would be useful for the particular task. Which type of protocol would be useful, whether it is economic, reasonable cost is also there. I didn't compel you people to purchase, okay? So you should implement your demo. For that, what type of technology you are going to use, and definitely it is required. So based on that, you should